Come into Sukhasana, seated on top of your blanket. And for Sukhasana, you want to cross your legs at the mid-shin. See that your kneecaps, center of your kneecaps, we call this the eyes of the knees. See that the eyes of the knees move out towards the very top of your mat. And always sit in the center of your blanket. Start in the center. Yeah, so move back a little, Tiffany. There you go. And your feet can come back just a smidgen. Good. And then once you come right in the center of the blanket, you should have this sensation of the outer hips moving down. So your outer hip bones moving down and moving, descending into your blankets or into your mat. Lean over one side to the other. Take the hand, upper hamstring, lower buttock, rotate out, draw back. Do that on both sides and take your time when doing that. Take a moment here and see that your two sits bones move away from one another, and they also move behind you rather than in front of you. Do you get it? So your sits bones shouldn't feel as if they're moving towards your knees, but rather moving up towards your low back and moving away from your midline. Take your fingertips into your blanket, your blocks, or your mat. Press down, bend your elbows, and open your collarbone. Broaden your chest. The tips of your elbows can stay bent here, but what you want to do, instead of drawing them back towards each other, you want to, as you bend them, extend them out to the side some. Keep a little bit of space here, which is what we consider the armpit chest, and then see if you can kind of lift the armpits. I know it's weird, but as you press down and you extend your elbows out, your armpits rather go up. Do you see? They become hollow. That's the word. You want to hollow the armpits. Also take any rounding or arching out of your low back by drawing your sacrum down while holding your sitting bones up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Keep your chin parallel to the mat. Close your eyes. Few deep breaths here. The breath is sounded. It's Ujjayi breath. So as you inhale, there's a slight sound to the breath, as well as when you exhale the breath. Each exhalation, you can move the belly button up and back. And as you exhale the breath, maintain this quietness or stillness in the abdominals. So in other words, don't strongly inflate and deflate the abdominals, the belly. Keep the abdominal wall slightly drawn back as you take very deep, full breaths into your outer body. Focus on your lungs and the filling of your lungs. Remember, they fill like balloons. So as the lungs fill, they expand. I'll chant Om once. You can join in here. You're welcome to just listen. Om. Exhale your breath. Bow your head. Bring your chin to the groove of your neck. Keep your breastbone lifted towards your chin. Bring your hands down to your legs. Let's turn the backs of our hands to our legs. Let the backs of your hands rest heavy against the legs. Center the head. Keep your eyes closed a moment. Next exhalation, you can slowly open your eyes and we'll release our hands. So you can turn the palms of your hands now to the tops of your legs. Very good. Again, let's take a moment here and let's move forward towards the top edge of our blankets. If you don't have blankets, stay as you are. But as you move forward, you want to bring the lower buttock flesh to the very edge of your blankets. And I'm going to come forward either with blocks under my hands or just walking my arms forward. So I want you to take your hands to your side ribs. If you're going to use blocks, just bring them out in front of you. Take your hands to your outer rib cage, tuck in, stretch up, and then begin to lean forward. Allow your outer legs and your outer knees to move down towards your feet. Once you get as far as you can, keep drawing your feet down, your upper leg bones, Release your hands and your arms out in front of you. Spider walk your hands and your arms out in front, or you can move your blocks forward out in front as far as you can. So this movement forward begins to move from the lower part of your back all the way up into the tips of your fingers. You see? So keep your upper leg bones grounded, your outer feet grounded, and stretch your arms very far out in front of you. And you can also think of use resistance. That's why I say use the fingertips, use the hands into the blocks to get the resistance to assist you in lengthening the spine, opening the chest, taking any hollowing out of the abdominals. Bring the chin so the chin moves slightly towards the groove of the neck and the back of the neck is open. Press down into your mat or into the floor, into your blocks, and again, move your breastbone up towards your chin. Use the resistance of your upper legs and your outer feet. And then exhale, bring your props back towards you or walk your arms and your hands back. So guys, you have to, I think, let's see. If I wanted to get length in the spine, it couldn't be here, do you see? So I have to really activate the upper legs to keep me grounded. Think of anchoring. Think of being in an anchor. Your upper legs are anchoring to your props. You see, your bottom is anchored to your prop so that you can use the resistance of your anchor to open your spine. So when you come forward, really focus on bringing your leg bones down, bringing your feet down, compacting your hips, and using your anchor, using your base, okay? So switch sides, move over the opposite way, crossing your legs opposite, and again, instead of this, and we'll try this to see how this differs from the Sukhasana cross. So you want to lean over again, make sure that the outer legs tuck in and adjust the buttock flesh. Take the hands once more to the outer ribs. Your fingertips are together, your fingers are together. You tuck in, you extend out, and then you lift up. Now, lean forward. Remember to use your anchor, use your outer feet, use your upper legs. Engage the muscles in your legs, engage your quadriceps. And once you get here, maintain the lift of the breastbone. Release the arms, the hands. They can come again to your blocks or just walk out in front. Now I want you to take the back of the waist, the posterior pelvis, and begin to move up. So kind of stretching the back muscles up towards the shoulder blades, moving the shoulder blades towards the hands, and really get a lot of length in the backs of your upper arms. So if I were there, I would take my hands to the backs of your upper arms and extend the backs of your upper arms out towards your fingertips. You see, you can also think of spreading your armpits. So here your armpits are not hollow, but they're spreading all four directions. And then press down into the mat, release, come up. So you can walk your arms and your hands back and come up. So let's stretch our legs out for a moment. And let's do a pose called Siddhasana, and we'll see if we can take a fold in Siddhasana. It's another seated position that we very rarely do. So for Siddhasana, what I'm going to do is your legs are out a little bit wider, and you'll notice the difference on the outer hips. So for Siddhasana to start, I'm just going to cross one ankle kind of over the other. Maybe I can line my ankle bones up with one another. Do you see how wide the knees are? Yeah, this is Siddhasana. Notice which foot that you've got on top because we'll change. And then again, you want to move over and you adjust the flesh. You still lift up. Let's see how coming forward here is. Make sure you've got one ankle bone lined up over the other. So you've got one foot on top. The toes are tucked inside, actually, of your legs, of the backs of your legs. So your calf muscles are where your feet tuck down into. Or if you're on the bottom foot, you can pull the toes up. Do you see? And then let's lift up, lean over. If this bothers your knees, go back to Sukhasana, and then walk the arms out. Now, I feel a lot of spreading here for me in the lower part of my back. Keep your breastbone lifted. Keep your spine moving in. I feel less on my hips and more stretch in my spine. Walk the arms out. Walk the arms out. Press down through the heels of your hands. But here you're going to relax your legs, relax your knees, and then walk through the arms. Walk through the hands. And then walk the hands and the arms back. Come tall, switch sides. Can you guys really see and feel a difference in this? The main difference that I feel is there's a lot less compacting on the hips. Meaning you get less opening, I feel, in the piriformis. You see? So do you notice that this is different than folding in Sukhasana? Good. Nobody's saying anything. Just shake your heads. Okay. All right, so go opposite. So now I've got to remember which foot I had on top, but I think I have my left. I think I have my right. So I'm going to bring the left over the right and tuck the toes down. Pull the bottom foot. Those toes come up so that your toes are right behind your calf muscles. Your knees are really extended far out. That's why this one can give you trouble if you have knee issues. Do you see? So if your knee bothers you, this wouldn't be a good position for you to be in or to fold forward in. This one also has a slant. So remember, you're on your blankets. You're kind of at the edge of your blanket. So slant forward. Do you see? Your sitting bones still move up. And then once you come forward, bring your hands down and walk your arms and your hands out. This time, let's take our hands and arms out a little bit wider and see if that can give us a little more opening in our chest. That's it. So Tiffany, move your hands out even. There you go. Now press down through your fingertips. Lift your chest up towards your chin. Great. So try to get some space in your spine. Move each vertebra up and away from the other. Right. But don't let your bottom necessarily roll off of your blanket. See if you can ground here by moving your tailbone down and your sitting bones up. And then exhale to release. Perfect. All right, enough of that. So stretch your legs out. We'll move over one side to the other, and you'll adjust the lower buttock flesh. Make sure that the backs of your knees are open. You can use a strap if you'd like, if you can't grab your feet for Paschimottanasana. Otherwise, extend the arms out. Really reach out. So start with this length in the arms. Bring your heels down. Remember, you're anchoring against your mat or your blankets. Reach forward. Anchor your heels. Bring your heels down. Bring your leg bones down. Do not round your spine, so you have to keep moving the belly button up towards the chest. Grab your feet. As you inhale, draw your heels in using your hands or your strap. Exhale your breath. Widen. Let's widen our elbows. And now see if that widening of your elbows can run all the way down your back, even through the posterior pelvis. So around your sacrum here, the muscles should feel as if they are spreading. Spreading. Bring the leg bones down. Bring the heels bones down. Use this anchor to give a little more extension or lift or stretch or movement forward of your spine. And then inhale, stretch up, and exhale, release. Perfect. Very good. So let's do this, guys. Let's turn. I see that everybody has some sort of a wall. And you can use your blankets still, but I'm going to turn my blankets like this. And I'm going to sit right at the very edge of my blankets, and we've done this before. And I want you guys to start with your knees bent. So your knees and your legs are together, your knees are bent, you're not sitting like this with your sitting bones moving towards your legs. But rather, I want you to use your hands, lift your bottom, draw your hamstrings back, and draw your sitting bones back. And then as you do that, you'll push to straighten your knees. We're going to come up and go over so that we can really kind of reach into the length of the spine and the action of your legs as you maintain that length to come forward. So we don't want to do this. We want to use our heels. We want to use our outer hips grounding against our prop, our anchor, to stretch up first and then fold over. Okay, so your feet go to the wall. And again, you can use those blankets, but make sure when you start, you can get your knees bent. Everybody bend your knees and bring your bottom, the lower buttock flesh, the happy face part of the bottom, to the very edge of the blanket. Yeah. And then bring the knees together and bring your inner feet together. Even though your knees are bent, you're rolling your outer thigh from the outer to the inner. So it is this rotation. Take your hands, guys, take them to your legs and rotate from the outer to the in, outer to the in. It goes out, that's it, outer to the in. Lean over, adjust the buttock flesh. Make sure that the sits bones move away. Bend the knees. Good. Now I want you to inhale, take your arms up, push the wall to straighten your knees and move forward. So as you do this, your bottom goes back, your outer hips move back. Guys, start by walking the arms up, and move your sitting bones up and over towards your low back. Walk your arms up higher. Get a lot of length in the spine. Feel as if the navel is moving up and away from the pubic bone. Once you touch the wall, bend your knees again and push your bottom back. Push your hamstring muscles back. Go take them back towards the back edge of your mat or the front edge of your mat. Move your bottom back towards your blankets. Keep this length. Walk your arms and your hands down. Grab your ankles or your shins. Push the wall. Bend the elbows out and fold. Keep the length in your spine. See if maybe the top of your head will reach into your feet, top of your feet. Great. And then inhale up and exhale, release. Very good. Let's stay here since we're here. So I've got the right knee bent. I'm at the edge, and you never start here, guys. If you feel as if your sitting bones are here, and I want us all to do this, I want you to press left foot into the wall, right foot into the mat, lift up, watch the bottom, take the bottom back. Yeah, push the wall with the heel, and we'll twist to the right. So Marichiyasana A or Marichiyasana 1. So the right knee is bent, the right foot is on the mat. The left knee is bent, the left foot is pressing into the wall, but the left knee is bent for now. Good. Now put your hands on your blankets or on your mat, lift your bottom completely off of your mat, and move your sitting bones up towards your low back, and then resit. Leave your torso right over your leg bones. There you go. Press down into your right foot. Now push with your left, straighten your left knee. Now take your left hand to your outer right knee, twist to your right. So your right arm can go behind you. Good. Use your arm, your hand, your left hand into your outer knee. Good. Now press down with your right foot, guys, and draw your outer right hip back. Use the resistance of your left hand or your left arm, and then exhale, release. Perfect. You can bring your release, and we'll switch sides. So again, now the right knee is bent, and you start here. Left foot is bent. So when you do this, when you lift your bottom and move your sits bones up to your low back, use your left foot as well. Left foot, press back. Do you see? And keep your torso here. So once you come here, don't do this and that. You see? So the bottom, the hamstring muscle on your right knee, right leg moves back. Okay. And once you get that, right knee is straight by you pushing the wall. Left foot is firm, twist to the left. So use that left foot and bend your knees so that your left heel is maybe just a fist distance away from your blankets. Can you bend your knee a teeny bit more, Tiffany? There you go, a little bit more. Good. Now push down as if you're going to stand. Perfecto. Good. Use the resistance of your hand, your right hand or your right arm, to draw your outer left hip back, twist a little bit deeper. Perfect. And exhale, release. Excelente. Okay, guys, go ahead and come off of your blanket. We'll get to work. I think we're warmed up, right? Yeah? Okay, good. So let's start right away in dog pose. So you can come over onto your mat, come onto your hands and your knees, and we've practiced this length. The hamstrings and the sitting bones have the same action as they do in Paschimottanasana. Remember, dog pose is really close to a forward fold. Yeah. So when you come onto your mat, you move your weight into your hands, not into your fingertips, but into the heels of your hands. Take your knees apart, take your knees back. And today, let's start by taking our knees pretty wide. And when we come up, let's see if we can get our outer feet to come out to the outer edge of the mat. I have a pretty large mat, a wide mat, so it makes my legs go out even deeper. But when you get your feet out to the outer edge of your mat, close the outer feet down into the mat. So that if I were there, I wouldn't be able to see your yoga mat because your outer feet are covering it. Do you get it? So take your legs, take your feet wide, bring your outer feet right out to the outer edge of your mat, and then press down. Press down, widen the outer feet and draw them down, and you can use your outer hips to do that. Now bring your ears in line with your upper arms and move your navel away from your pubic bone. Lift your chest towards the top of your mat. So guys, here you have to engage your quadriceps. You have to engage your kneecaps. They lift up, good. Now descend your calves, lift your sits bones, lift your hamstrings and roll them up and over. Roll them up and over. It will concave your back between your shoulder blades. Your thoracic spine, move your chest towards your legs, but move your head up in line with your arms. Great, 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 great. And exhale, release, come down. Good, good, good. So in dog pose, like Sukhasana or anything else, guys, you're really using your hips and you're using your outer hips. You're using this compactedness for stabilization and anchoring so that you can move forward, okay? So we'll do dog pose again, and this time I'm gonna come up normally and walk my feet together, so watch. So I can take my knees apart, come into dog pose as I normally would. You don't wanna be here, and you don't wanna round. So you wanna move your chest, your breastbone up towards your chin, draw your abdominal wall back, and bring your feet down. Bring your heels down, here. And then we're gonna step in really slowly to bring our feet completely together and then press. Okay, so take your time, don't rush yourselves into it. Make sure that you come into your dog pose first as if you would just normally. Your legs and your arms, everything is normal, like you would normally do your dog pose. Get this length here, move your weight back into your outer hips. Remember, your hips are compacted. Now, Tiffany, walk your arms out forward. Good, and push. Even lift your fingertips up. Press. That's it. Guys, you can lift your fingertips up and you can push through the heel of your hands. Push your mat forward. Now, very slowly begin to walk your legs and your feet together. Your inner feet touch, your inner heels touch. Now, use your legs as one big leg and draw both of your calf muscles down until your heels touch the mat. You have to push with the heels of your hands. That's it. So spread all four corners of your knees. That's it. So Tiffany, try to spread your knees. Good. Lift the kneecaps up and move the sitting bones up and over, and then exhale, release. Good. I feel like I get a little more movement back there. Do you guys?
Because you don't balance yourself.
No?
No.
No?
Okay.
Got it. Just kidding. Okay, come up. Blocks once more. 2 blocks touching. Love this one. It should draw our attention to our calf muscles, our lower legs. It will also draw some attention to your knees and the action of the muscles of your legs. Mr. Iyengar said the only way that you can move the bone is to hug the muscle to it. You have to hug the muscle to the bone so that you can direct the bone where you want it to go. Do you get it? So it's that engagement. It's kind of what I was saying earlier, right? when we were coming forward in Sukhasana. You have to use here, you have to engage here and anchor. And so here, now your anchor is going to be the heels of your feet and your calves. So I'm going to lean over, and you can bend the knees to do this and hold my fingertips to the blocks. I'll step up 1 foot at a time, and I'm stepping up pretty high so I can have contact with the block with the base of the toes. Now here, a tendency is to do this. I want us to shift forward, and at the same time that we shift forward, descend calf muscles down to the heels, and watch. As you shift forward, open up your side chest, just like we did in our first forward fold of the day. And then walk out. And once you get here, move your sits bones up and over your heels. Okay, so it's not a dog pose. It's more like a extended uttanasana. So you can bend the knees to move down. Bend your knees, and as you come down, you can step up. So yeah, Tiffany, bend your knees and put your fingertips in front. There you go. There you go. Push your blocks towards you. You guys want to push those blocks in. Again, you need the resistance. So as you move your blocks into your feet or back towards you, shift forward. Shift forward. Yes, it will change the articulation in your legs. Yeah, it'll change your kneecaps. Notice, it'll change the muscles of your quadriceps. It changes their action, what they're doing. Lean a little bit more forward for me. There you go. Now lift your kneecaps, lift your quadriceps. Release your blocks, come forward a little more, walk the arms out only through length. Take any hollowing out of the belly. Any howling, there you go. That's great, Wendy. Now, if you can't even get to the fingertips on the floor, fine. Keep opening up the navel, moving it out towards the chest. Continue to make space in your spine, in your armpits. Always move your navel up and away from the pubic bone. Great. And then you can bring yourselves back. Perfect. You can bring yourselves up. Excellent. Excellent. And so I'm going to take my blocks, and I'm just going to do a Parsvottanasana for a moment. I'm really into forward folds. So from the mat, and it can be from the top of your mat, I'm holding the blocks. I'm going to step my right leg forward and really ground that foot. So not like this. Ground the outer foot, right kneecap forward, outer right hip back. The left leg will go behind me, left toes out at about, that's not 45 degrees. What will be the next one? I don't know. Some degrees out to the left. And then bring your outer left hip forward, and then I'm going to come forward, just like this. Now, my work, guys, I want you guys to watch. My work is going to be to draw this hip back and to push into my blocks and move forward. Even if my left heel comes up, and a matter of fact, I'll let it come up, shift forward, draw the hip back, outer hip, outer heel, and then I'll see how long or how far I can move that left heel back down. At the same time, I'm bending the elbow, still using the hands to fold. Draw the right hip back, shift your weight forward. And then we'll come up. To come out of this, we'll bend the right knee, step forward, and then come up. Okay? So hold your blocks in your hands and imagine that you've got a block at your upper inner thighs. So your right leg is forward and your left leg is behind you. Now remember, your left toes are out at some angle. So an angle back there on the left toes.
Which way?
I don't know. They're at an angle back there. And I can't tell you the degree. But anyway, rotate outer left thigh in towards the inner right thigh and be insistent. And then lift the chest. Come forward. Use your feet. So your right foot is pressing into your mat very evenly. Now let's bring our blocks. Let's walk them out to get some length in our spine. Lift your right kneecap, lift your right femur bone, lift your right shin bone, lift your right kneecap, draw your outer right heel bone down. Now push down into your blocks, shift your weight forward, even coming onto your left toes. And then really drag your outer right foot back. Drag your outer right foot back. Shift forward, guys. Shift even more forward and then pull the outer hip back. That's it. Level out the back of your waist. Level out the back of your waist. Do you see? So your right side of your pelvis should be the same as the left side. So if there's unevenness, I want you to straighten your right knee, lift it up, lift your quadricep, and energetically pull your outer right foot back. Come all the way up onto your left tippy toes. Come to the left toes, shift. Do you see how that engages that leg bone? You can use your heel to connect your leg bone into your hip socket. You can use your right heel to do that. Draw your hip back, Tiffany. Pull that outer right hip back. Come to your left toes, Tiffany, tippy toe. Now draw your right hip back, back, back. Now descend the heel. Good. Keep that. Great, great, great. Now exhale your breath. See if you can get your left heel against the mat once more. Bend your elbows. Still push your hands into your blocks. Drop the nose to the knee, right knee. Nose to the right knee. Bend the elbows. You can bend the elbows now. You can bend the elbows and let the torso move towards that right leg. Great. And now straighten the elbows. Look out in front of you. Good. Lift the torso and then come up. So remember how we come up. I forgot, but hopefully y'all remember. Phew, that was a lot. Okay, so go the other way. The other day we did a jump switch, but it wasn't a lunge. But I think we can jump switch any way we want. Let's see. Since I didn't really go frolicking, I'll do that. I'll just jump. So again, back leg is the right leg, left leg is in front. Y'all know the drill with the back toes and that angle that it's at. And then you come from the outer. Look, watch. I can even do the L shape with to the buttock flesh, right side. And that flesh does the same as it does in Sukhasana. So it rotates out. And then lift the chest, draw the outer left hip back, fold, fold. Draw the outer left hip back, fold. Now here you have to drag, you press down through your outer left hip into your outer left foot. Now let's do this time. We didn't do it on the other side, but just because I just thought of it. But we can see if this gives us a different feeling. What I want you guys to do is push into your blocks. Your elbows are straight for now, and your back heel, which is your right heel, is descending. It's moving down. Now what I want you to do from here is I want you to roll all the way over onto the outer left foot, press the left foot down, drag the left hip back. Drag the left hip back. Now keep that left hip back as you bring the inner left foot into the block or into the mat. Now come up onto your right tippy toes and go ahead and shift over, draw the outer left hip back. So you should really feel your upper leg bone into your hip socket. Good, good, good. Now you're on your back toes, or maybe you're not, but come up onto your right toes and shift your weight over your hip, over your left leg. Shift forward, push your blocks, give your blocks some weight. That's it, that's it. Now, drag your outer left hip back, externally rotate your outer left hip, and descend your back foot. Now bend your elbows and go ahead and fold. Fold. Move your nose to your knee. Take any rounding out. Remember, you have to engage the muscles. Engage the muscles in your legs and move your left thigh bone back. Good. And then look out in front. You can straighten the elbows. And you can come up on an inhalation and then step up. Now, did we get that?
Yes, oh yes.
Wendy's like, yes.
That's what
Yes. Now, listen, I'm going to do tree pose only because I want to give this outer foot thing. You know, and listen, we were doing this before we left the studio. We were doing this in Supine and Gustasana, supine, taking our leg up and out. We were opening up the sole of that foot in order to give this hip, to rotate this hip out. Okay, so in this side, we're gonna do Briksasana, tree pose, but watch. When I take the foot, I'm gonna go out to give this external rotation, and then when I bring the right foot up, I'll bring it up as high. Use my hand to my ankle and lift. You see, once I get the foot here, keep watching, guys. I'm gonna first start to press the foot, draw the outer left hip in towards the right, bring the outer right hip in towards the left, and then I'm gonna take to this outer right foot. Keep watching. I'm gonna roll so that the sole of the foot is open. Try to adjust the hips. Keep that adjustment. Bring the foot back in. Okay? So you'll feel your hip movement. Okay, so once you get here, you remember in tree pose, you have to compact your hips. Your hips tuck in. So you can think of here in creating indentions in your outer hips as you tuck them in. So take your right toes out to the right with your right knee bent. Come high on your toes. Come high on your toes. Now let's just do this for fun. Let's kind of lean into that right inner foot. Lean into it, good. Take that inner thigh back. Take the inner knee back, even if you have to do it with your hands. Now shift into that left outer foot. Keep that right knee where it is. Tuck your bottom in, engage your lower left buttock, and lift your right toes up. Balance on your left leg by engaging your left buttock. Bring your foot up. Hold your front ankle for a moment. Hold your front ankle. Don't be in a hurry. Hold the front ankle. Good. Now, can you pull the foot up? Great. Now, you can use your right arm to keep that inner left right knee back. Now, see if you can rotate to the outer right foot. My pants are slippery. You guys rotate to the outer right foot. Rotate to the outer right foot to get the knee back. That's it. Keep the knee where it is. And then bring the inner foot to the leg again. Perfect. And then exhale, release. Great. Great. So you really should feel that. It's a deep external rotation. And like everything else, you want to maintain the square hips. Okay? So left side. Take the foot out, so not here, but take it out, bend into it, kind of lean into it, bring the bottom in. So if you look from behind, the bottom comes in. And that knee, inner thigh, inner knee, back. Now you can tuck in. You can even use your own hands to press into your outer hips. And then lift the foot. Grab the front of the ankle or shin and pull the shin bone or front ankle up towards your leg bone, your femur bone. So remember, this is like a clamp, like you're clamping your thigh bone into your shin bone and vice versa. Bring the buttocks in. Come to your inner right foot, everyone. Move your weight in until you feel your inner right foot. That's great. Bring your bottom down. Can you engage your core? Draw your abdominal wall back. Turn to your outer left foot. Even if you have to keep holding the ankle, rotate to the outer foot. Great, Paul. Great, great, great. And then bring the foot in. Try to maintain this. Excelente. Bottom has to go in. Right lower buttock flesh engage. Great. And then exhale to release. Perfecto. Very, very good, guys. I'm going to come down onto the mat in a lunge, and I'm going to start, since we're warming up the hips. Now, keep in mind, we just started. Just kidding. So I'm going to come here, and you can do blocks under the hands if you like, but watch. Right leg is in front, and I'm going to shift forward. And then when I shift back, I'm going to lift the thigh bone, left femur bone up away from the mat, engage the muscles in the leg, and press back. And I just want to do this a few times to open up the front of the left leg. And then I'm going to press down through the left hand, keep the left elbow straight. Y'all watch. Turn your right toes to the right. Watch my left foot. Turn it to the outer foot. press this foot down. So you don't want this. You want it to rotate in and down. You want to press the right foot, draw the right hip back, wiggle the left leg back, come seated. Here. Okay, so this foot does work. This foot also works. I've seen sometimes we just do this. I feel nothing when I do this. So I have to activate this leg just like I'm standing on it. I want to treat my left foot as if I'm standing on the floor. Do you see? So if I were standing on the floor, the foot, it has to be engaged. Do you see? So that has to be weight. Use your foot, use your outer left foot for weight. Okay, now come into your lunge. Phew. See how much energy that little block of cheese and boiled egg gave me? I should eat breakfast more often. Y'all are like, no, don't eat more than you have to before class.
Eat a big stack of pancakes. No.
So you come forward, remember, let that right knee bend over the right toes and then really push back. And I just want us to feel that how using your left foot and your right, but using your left foot changes your leg, yeah?
Yes.
It changes what's going on at your leg. It changes the muscle of the legs, right? So press back and move your femur bone up to the ceiling. And does that open up the front of your back leg? Yeah. So you always have to use this, your own kind of muscular energy or muscular activity. I don't know what you would call it. But anyway, keep your left hand grounded, even if it's on a block. Press down through your palm. Now, at the same time, turn right toes to the right, left outer foot to your mat, and hold. Now, look at your right foot. You may have to take your right hand to your outer right knee, draw in, twist, pull your outer right hip back, and wiggle your left leg all the way back and come seated directly on your outer left hip bone. So when you come seated, you have to draw the outer right hip back, guys. That's a must. You have to bring that outer right hip over the left hip. Wiggle your back leg back and let your outer left hip descend. Descend. Use your foot. Remember, you're standing on your left foot. And then let's release and switch sides. Yeah, it might be easier without because it makes a longer drop. Okay, so left leg and do your thing. You know, that thing. The thing where you go forward and you go back. I don't have a name for that. Rocking lunge. The rocking lunge. So make sure when you rock back, you really use your heel as if you're kicking something over, kicking the wall down. You even engage the arch of your foot. You even engage the arch of your foot. Do this a few times. Go forward, move back. Good, good, good. Now press down through your right palm, right elbow straight. Left toes left, rotate to the left, come onto the outer back foot, outer right foot. Now as you're turning your left toes to the left, try to come onto that outer foot. Now stay here. Draw your outer left hip back, Tiffany. There you go. Good, a little bit more. You can even twist. Look towards the back side of the room. Good, 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 good. Wiggle your bottom leg back and activate your bottom foot. So your right foot, pretend that you're standing on it. Push into your heel. Push into your heel. Draw your hip back and you will be able to come all the way down to the mat. Outer left hip back. Twist almost to the left. Good. And then exhale, release. Perfect. Excelente, guys. Just go ahead and come seated on your mat. And I don't think I'm going to take a blanket yet, but I'm going to just fold this up. I've been really interested in doing this one lately. I don't know why. But what I'm going to do is just sit on my mat. And I've got this little blanket behind me just for fun.
You're so fun.
And then the sitting bones, I've got the knees bent, knees together, sitting bones. I rotate buttock flesh out. Same thing, internal rotation. I'm going to bring the fingers and hands behind me. So take your blanket back a little bit. And I'll bend the elbows, lift the chest. You can even press through your hands. And then I'll rock back. And I'll take my legs and just bring the calf muscles parallel to the mat. Now here, using the hands, I want to press in. You see? So this really hurts the low back. So if you can't keep your legs up or you can't take your legs up, watch, you can work here, and work to maybe dragging those heels in. Do you see? And then coming here. And we want to move slowly. Good. Everyone bring your knees together. Bring your knees in and bring your calves parallel. Do a dorsiflex of your feet. Draw your toes back. Engage your legs. Now check your sits bones. Move your blanket back a little bit. There you go, so you can rock back into it. Good. You can move your sitting bones up, move your abdominal wall in. Great. And then exhale, come down. So this one can be really, really difficult, I think, if you've got maybe tight psoas muscles. Yeah. Yeah, the psoas muscles bend the knee. Right, Lisa? No, they don't bend the knee.
I thought, no, but I wouldn't.
Oh, they stretch the leg up like this. Okay.
Testing her. Lisa.
So they go like this. The psoas muscles, you flex them, right?
Flex the hip, bending the
They
knee.
flex the hip. Todd just told me
What'd you
that.
say, Lisa?
But yeah, anyway,
I wanted you to hear
we got that. So they flex the hip. So meaning they do this, yeah, with the hip. So if the psoas muscles are tight, that may be the restriction in this pose. That's basically all I was trying to say. So I'm on my mat, and I've still got my blanket there in case I roll backwards. So I'm going to bend the knees up just like I did before, lift the spine, wrap the strap around the feet. And I've got it around the base of the toes. Now here I need to pull the heels back and in, and then take the legs up. And we'll see if we can now hold the strap, upper arms, or shoulders, tops of your shoulders away. We'll hold here. You've got to draw your knees in. And it's a lot of work to bring the sacrum in and to bring the spine in and the chest up. So you guys try that. Flex your toes. Good. Good, good, good. That's it. Great, great, great. And then let's exhale to release. Good. We're only going to do it like 10 more times, okay? So this next time when we do it, and we can do our fun one. Let's do that too. But the next time we do, we'll try to straighten. So we got, again, buttock flesh. And the tendency is when we straighten the knee, there can really kind of be a rounding in the low back as you straighten the knees. So watch. So here's pretty easy, right? And I can keep the spine in. But to straighten the knees, I don't want to go here, I want to go in and up with my spine. Do you see? In and up. Okay, so let's try it. So this is an internal rotation. Your hips are compacted. You do rock back into this, and you find your place kind of behind your sits bones. Draw into your strap. Good. And once you feel like you're stable here, you're balanced, try to straighten the knees without rounding the spine. That's excelente, guys. Excellent, excellent. Great, and then exhale, bend the knees, release. That's so good. Now this is what we'll do now. We'll take our straps. This is the fun way that I refer to, that I mentioned earlier. And since you always save the fun stuff for last, That's why I saved this for last. So you bring a loop into your strap, a body loop. You bring a body loop into your strap. Who untied this? Just kidding. So
Lisa's,
I can blame Diana.
what's your dad's student in training name?
I only have wonderful students.
No, I mean your name as the,
Oh, Susie.
yeah, Susie's Betty's.
Susie is my alter ego, and Susie's a really not a very good yoga student, and she shows up. She usually shows up during our training. Well, when we were having training, Susie would show up to help us work on our patients.
Susie knew everything.
Yeah, Susie knew everything. She was a professional in everything. Okay, so here, and I've got the knees bent, the strap right at the upper back, right underneath the shoulder blades, as high up the back as you can get. And I've got the buckle of the strap facing me so that I can adjust. And I do like to push through and come straight for a moment, so we can do that. And as you come straight, do you see that rounding in my back? Let's press it away from the strap. And then I'll bend the knees, use my hands, fingertips, I'll take my legs up. And once I get my balance, I can maybe bring my arms out. And if I have even more balance, I can straighten the knees, straighten the legs, and then I can take the arms out, I can bring the arms up. I can kind of be here for a moment, working the spine in, away from your strap, and you have to really press with your feet. So your feet have to really press, and that strap is at your, right underneath your arms, at your armpits. Now move your spine, everyone move your spine away from the strap, away from the strap. Good, away from the strap. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Push with your feet to bring the spine in. Push with your feet, push with your feet. There you go, push with your feet. Now keep your legs rotating in, keep your hips compacted. Stretch your arms out if you can, right out in front. If you can go deeper, stretch them out to the side. If you can go deeper, take them up. Good, keep your spine in, raise your arms, and then exhale. You can release, you can grab your strap, bend your knees, and release. Good. Now you cannot tell me that was not fun.
It is so fun. I watch TV like that.
It gives the sensation of what needs to work for Paripurna Navasana, right? Let's do, since we're doing core, let's do Ardha Navasana, which is the little boat or half boat. So for half boat, and lie on a blanket if you want, I'm gonna come down onto my mat. I'm gonna practice it a couple different ways. So I'm gonna come lying down, and to come down, bend the knees, tuck the sacrum tailbone, bring the elbows down. Now in this pose, guys, the only thing that's against the mat is really like your the back of your waist, you see? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by straightening the knees, rotating the legs, inner thigh, outer thigh, inner groin, bring your feet together and floint. So press out through the base of your big toe joint. Y'all watch for a moment. And then I'm gonna take my arms out, and I'm gonna do the very best that I can to lift my back rib cage up and off of my mat. You see, so I'm not lifting all the way up. You've got to keep your feet active. So I'm lifting here. Yeah. And then we'll start our next thing that we'll do. That's just the top half, is we'll press down and see if we can lift the feet without stressing into the low back. And then once we get that, we'll see if we can get everything up. Okay. So start lying flat. Make sure that you're flat. Make sure that you're flat on the mat and that you don't have an arch in your low back. So bend, you can always bend, everyone bend your knees, put your feet on the mat, grab your yoga mat with your hands, Rotate your outer arms down, lift your bottom and tuck, and then ground yourself. Great. And then extend your knees. You can stretch your legs out one leg at a time and reach from the inner thigh to the inner feet. So fluent. Press the base of the big toe joint like you're pressing the gas pedal. Wonderful. Now, I want you to just extend the arms out, engage the muscles in your arms, stretch them forward. Now lift your backside off of the mat here. Lift your back rib cage. Lift your entire back rib, not your legs yet, just your rib cage. Reach through your hands. Reach through your hands. Good. And exhale, release. Good. You can release and relax the arms. Maybe turn the palms of your hands to your mat. Take your arms down along your side body. Turn the palms of your hands to your mat so you can push down. And now bring your legs together, floint your toes, and lift your legs. Lift your legs, lift them at the same time, and really use your feet. Engage your core, draw your belly down, make your legs very long. Relax your arms, relax the tops of your shoulders, and exhale, release. Good. Good. Now, I know I said we were going to go straight, but go ahead and lift your head, interlace your fingers behind your head. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Let your arms just rest out to your sides. So your outer elbows come down. You've just got your hands interlaced directly behind your head. And then let's go ahead and use our hands. Lift your head, lift your back body, lift your legs. You can keep holding the back of your head. See if you can get your back rib cage up off of your mat. And lift your legs, lift your head. Good. Get your back rib cage up. Draw your belly button down. Lift a little higher. Press up so that the back rib cage is away from the mat. Good. And then exhale, release. Excelente. Very good, guys. Let's rest here for a moment. Actually, take your arms out. Take your knees and your feet up. Knees together. Let's take our knees over to the left. And let's twist to the right. So you can lift the left shoulder blade up, take it to the left, twist your torso, your spine to the right. So a spinal twist, and then we're going to do that big boat, little boat, Baddha Konasana one. Just for more fun. And then bring your knees and legs up and go over in the opposite direction. Good, 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 good. And then that right shoulder blade comes up and out to the right, so your breastbone lines up to the ceiling. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful. Good, good, good. And then go ahead and bring your knees and your feet back up to the center. Put your feet on your mat. Take your inner knees together. Take your feet wide for a moment. Again, see if you can get some length here. You can even lift up and use your thumbs to the back of the waist and stretch down. You can draw the bottom flesh down with your thumbs. And then you can rest a moment. And then go ahead and you can bring your feet and your legs together, your feet up, and roll to your right and come seated. Okay. What we're going to do is, there's a name for this. There's a Sanskrit name when you string poses together in a movement, and it's not vinyasa. That's not the name of it. There's another name when you string poses together. And I have to, I don't know. See what happens when you don't teach in person? You forget all the anatomy and everything. All the poses, half the time I'm like, what did we used to do? Okay, so watch, just watch. I'm gonna do Baddha Konasana first. And with Baddha Konasana, I want to open the soles of the feet up and let the outer knees come down. Keep watching, guys. I'm going to come from Baddha Konasana, take an exhale of the breath, come into the big boat, Paripurna Navasana. Take another exhalation of the breath, rock down to Ardha Navasana. Another exhalation of the breath, come back to Paripurna. Again, exhalation of the breath, come back to Baddha Konasana. And we'll repeat this. cadence. I don't know what this is called. Here, just like that. Okay? Don't roll around, guys. You have to engage the core to control this. Otherwise, you'd come from here to back here. So you have to engage the core, sit very tall, keep the abdominals drawn back, come for Baddha Konasana, tops of your shoulders down, your spine in. Exhale your breath, keep your torso, your spine like it is, rock back, bring your knees together, bring your legs and your feet up. Exhale your breath, you can interlace behind your head, but rock down, come into little boat. Lift the back rib cage. Lift the body up, come back to Paripurna Navasana. Exhale, come into Baddha Konasana. Come back into Paripurna Navasana. Come down to Ardha Navasana. Come back up to Paripurna Navasana. Come back to Baddha Konasana. 2 more times. Paripurna, Ardha, come down to half boat, little boat, stretch up to big boat. Good. Baddha Konasana. Come back to big boat from Baddha Konasana. Exhale, come down little boat. Lift the back rib cage. Swing up to big boat and exhale Baddha Konasana. Perfecto. And then let's just come forward in Baddha Konasana. That was our last one. So feet open towards the ceiling. Sitting bones move away from your midline and you come forward. You do press your heels in to tuck your outer hips in. Good. And then you guys can exhale, release. Excelente. And come up. Let's go ahead and let's come down for Setubandha, Sarvangasana. So today, I think I will use a little blanket folded like this right underneath the shoulders or the backs of the arms. And also I'm going to use a strap on my leg bones. So around my middle thigh. So when I come reclined, I've got the yoga mat and I'll come carefully down with the backs of the arms and the shoulders on the blanket and the back of my head on the mat. And you see how that gives this almost a natural lift of my chest. Are y'all watching?
Yes.
And then watch. So instead of this, you want to really spread out the backs of the arms and bring them down. Now my strap is in a loop, and I'm going to bring that strap to the thighs. So, and it's not in a very big loop, but it's not going to be small enough to bring your legs together completely. So I'll lift 1 foot at a time and bring the strap onto the middle of the thighs, like this. See? And then I'll use my block like this, and I want to push. And I'm going to focus, a lot of times I tippy toe up, but today I'm going to focus on opening up the front of my hips by pushing into my feet. You see? You want to take your time and then bring your brick underneath your sacrum. And then as I'm here, I got to keep grounded here. And I can then maybe walk the feet out, straighten the knees maybe, or keep the knees bent. Depends on the flexibility. But you can stay with your knees bent. You can really draw down on that strap as well. And you press out from your interlace, but you tuck your outer hips in. It feels wonderful. I like the strap on the legs. It really does make it where you work, it's a little less work. It takes that kind of subconscious tension of trying to keep your knees from rotating out. It takes that out of the pose. Yeah, well, it does keep your legs internally rotating, which is very important in any back bend, because that action of internal rotation opens up the lower back. It opens up the sacrum. And the sacrum and the lumbar spine is a place where we have a lot of tension and stress, I think, from sitting, from this area being compressed. So here you do let those arms release at the top. It's like here, it's the backs of the arms. And you know, today I've been talking a lot about an anchor, right? Or your anchor. I've been talking a lot about that today, but now think about what possibly could anchor you in order for you to protect your spine. I know you don't have to answer, but what it would be the biggest bones that are the closest to the mat. So that's going to be your upper arm bones become a big anchor in this pose. And you know, in our training books, Mr. Iyengar says that this pose is your lead up to Salamba Sarvangasana, which is shoulder stand. We're required to teach this before we teach shoulder stand. Because can you tell how you're using your shoulders in the exact same way that you would be if you were in Salamba Sarvangasana? Yeah, top of your shoulders are grounded, but the backs of your arms are also against the floor to help you move the breastbone up. And the block and the strap are there to keep the length in the lower back. Now, think about this. The sacrum doesn't move that much. I'm not going to ask you any more questions, Lisa, but the sacrum is not as flexible, or it will allow as much movement as your, say, your lumbar or your cervical spine, right? The movement there, and the reason is because those vertebrae are fused together. See, and the vertebrae in the upper back are separate. So that makes it almost appear like one big bone, you know what I mean? But that comes in. It comes into your body. And not strongly. It can't come in very strong without causing an injury, but it does come in. Okay, now I forgot what we were going to do next. So bend your knees and lift your bottom and come off of your blocks. And when you come down, you do tuck your way down. And then go ahead here, guys, and see if we've practiced some core stuff. You can even grab your yoga mat or just see if you can lift your feet and maybe roll yourselves up to a seated position. So grabbing the mat or just kind of bending the knees towards the chest. See if you can roll, use the core, and come forward in Paschimottanasana. And so in this posture, you can have a little bit of rounding in the back, just because we're moving opposite of what we just did. So to release your back, you want to open it, do you see? So you want to kind of, as you move forward, that little bit of rounding for the purpose of releasing your back is acceptable. Yeah. Take a few deep breaths and we'll hold in Paschimottanasana for a moment. Excellent. Few more seconds here, guys. And again, there's this kind of you're not rounding intentionally, but you're not straightening intentionally. You're just letting yourself forward fold. The head can be heavy. Oh, we know it weighs at least 12 pounds. And then to come out of this, let's just kind of release the feet or the shins and roll up. And you can kind of roll up one vertebra at a time. Very, very good, guys. And then let's go ahead and we'll bend the knees and come for our inversion. So What I'll say today is if you've got at least 2 blankets, you can do halasana. If you have at least 2 blankets, if you have at least 3 blankets, you could do halasana to shoulder stand. But you need at least 2 blankets for halasana. You could also use a chair behind you for halasana, or you could use a wall for your feet and do what we call ardha halasana, or half plow pose. So or you can do shirsasana if you don't have any blankets, or you would prefer to do shirsasana, do that. You can also do legs up the wall. That is an option. Okay. And I see some of you getting things, maybe chairs and things like that. If you're going to use a chair, it'd be over the head. Okay. But for the wall, you need a little bit of space, and I don't know how much. Maybe if you sit like this, that would kind of give you a clue about maybe how far back your blanket should be. And then I'll use a block. So I'll come on top of these blankets. Feel like I'm gonna be too far away, but anyway, and you really kind of move your shoulder blades out, and you let the tops of your shoulders come to the top edge of the blanket, and your neck doesn't have any prop underneath it. And I'm gonna use a lower level block and just sit on. And again, this in itself is wonderful. And then I'll grip the mat, take the knees in, lift the bottom up, and if I can reach the wall, I will, but I can't. So I'll let my toes, the wall is perfect. So that measurement works. So watch my sacrum. Gotta bring it still in, and up, and then my hips. Okay, if your toes can go all the way down. This is one that I really, I was gonna say this is one that I work on a lot, but, that's not true. This is one I should work on a lot. Okay, so halasana maybe, shoulder stand if you've got the propping for it, headstand if you don't have anything, legs up the wall if you don't want to do any of that. But for halasana, make sure you've got blankets. Make sure that your shoulders are pressing. Audrey, that looks excelente. You came down, but I hope I didn't make you come down by calling your name, but it looks good. Like the thoracic's really in, chest lifted. Sarah looks good too. So Sarah, and I don't want you guys to come out and look at anything, but she's doing what we call chair shoulder stand, which is using a chair at your sacrum. Some of you are in headstand. Lisa, that's great. Your shoulder's looking good. Good. Few more seconds here. Wonderful. Excellent. Wendy, I can tell that shoulder stand looks good, looks good. All right, guys, everyone come down nice and easy. Now, if your leg's up the wall, Tiffany, stay there. You can stay there. It's stay in legs up the wall if you're there. And if you were in any of the other inversions, come down. If you were in shoulder stand, for example, or you were in halasana, what you do from here is once you come down, you come back and bring your bottom onto your blanket stack. And then that block that you sat on, you can bring your outer feet to for Baddha Konasana. And then stretch your arms out and relax. So your hips are now higher than your shoulders. So your bottom is against your 2 blankets. If you can come into Baddha Konasana with your outer feet on the block, that's fine. If that's too much for you, you can stay as you are. There you go, Tiffany, good. Can you turn your palms up and even let them go out? There you go. Good. Good, good, good. And you guys keep resting here for a minute. Just keep resting. And again, those shoulder blades, tops of your shoulders always, always, always move away from your earlobes. And as you're here, you can really rest. So let your legs rest, your inner groin, your feet, your arms, your hands. So you're not doing anything. You're literally just allowing heaviness. Perfect. As you take an exhalation of the breath, you can bring the knees and feet together. So if you were here in Baddha Konasana, you just bring your knees together and keep your feet on top of your blocks. And then as you exhale, let's pull your knees into your chest one at a time. You can hug the knees in. See if you can keep your sacrum against that blanket, though, as you can rock side to side as well. And then with an exhalation through the nose, roll over to the right, push into the floor and come seated. Wonderful. And then we'll move these blankets away. And then we'll do our favorite, all-time favorite pose, Supta Padangusthasana. So I've got one block. And I think I'm going to do it with the bent knee today too. So I've got one block and I've come down, recline, feet to the wall. If you don't have a wall or you don't feel like getting up and moving to your wall, use an invisible wall. Okay. And then bring your lower back. So I've got to make sure to get this length in the lower back, lifting the bottom and tucking here. And then the block goes right to the outer right hip. It touches that outer hip bone, giving kind of a subconscious information that that outer right hip tucks in, but so does the outer left hip. And then go ahead and bring your right foot up and bring your strap around your heel. Pull down with both of your hands, straighten your knee. You have to engage your leg muscles, so the muscles in your legs, hug the bone, and then you move the bone back. So the upper leg bone moves back, the heel bone moves down. The heel bone moves down, guys. So hold your strap with two hands and pull straight down as if you're gonna pull the strap into the floor. And then activate the inner thigh to the inner foot. Press the base of the big toe joint up. Now grab your strap with your right hand, turn your right knee to the right, and then bend your right knee and bring the top of your right leg on your block. So come into a happy baby to start. Right knee bends out, top of the right leg is on the block. Wiggle your left foot to the left a little bit, press down, straighten your right knee if you can. Straighten your right knee. Keep your left side completely against your yoga mat. Your left side does not lift up at all. Guys, straighten your right knee and move your right femur bone to the back of your right leg. Now, how would you do that? You have to engage the muscle. Go ahead and firm the muscle, engage the muscle, and squeeze the muscle to the leg bone. Squeeze the muscle to the leg bone. Draw the kneecap back towards your quadricep. Bring your right leg up, take it over to the left. Switch the hand that holds the strap. Keep your left toe straight up to the ceiling. Rotate your outer right hip down. You can use your right hand. Don't roll over to your left. Look to your right. Twist your belly button to your right. So guys, keep your attention on your right side. Keep your attention on the right side of like your right buttock flesh, your right back rib cage. Straighten your knee. So that's it. Now adjust your foot. Change the position of your right foot. Do a heavy dorsiflex. That's it. Push through the heel. Push. That's great. Now do a point of your right toes. Point. See if that stretches the leg out. Good. Now floint. Press the base of the big toe joint up. Bend the left elbow. Let the leg go a little further. Engage the muscles in the leg. Bring it back to the center. Pull your right leg into your chest. And then you can bend the knee and release. Perfect. Same thing applies. You must engage the muscle and think of this as squeezing the muscle to the bone. He even suggested kind of pumping. Squeeze and then release. Squeeze and release. You see? So we want to get used to that action of using the muscle to control the bones in the body. He has a little quote I'll reach. It's really not a quote, but it's kind of cute. It's something like, bones are important, make no bones about it. Ha 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 ha. It's an Iyengar joke. Ha ha ha. Okay, so switch your props over to your opposite side. And then when you straighten your right knee, push the wall with your right foot, take your strap around your left heel, extend your left leg up. Now, let's see if you can think of this as squeezing or hugging or engaging or drawing into. So really engage the muscle. Good. Good. You get an effect here. You see? Now, the Carmendreas, your hands, your arms, your legs, your feet, your organs, Mr. Iyengar, these are classified as organs of action. Your organs of action, your legs, your feet. And now go ahead and turn your left toes to the left, left knee to the left, bend your left knee, come into half a happy baby on your left side. So the top of your left leg bone is grounded against your block. Draw down with your left hand, using your hand to the strap, kind of draw down. Now, as you draw down to your foot, you want to press your left thigh bone towards the ceiling, but keep moving your leg, your kneecap down. Left kneecap down, left thigh bone up. And now, if you can wiggle your right foot to the right, push the wall over, and extend your left knee as much as you can. Maybe it doesn't go very straight. But the way you straighten it again, go back to this what? Squeezing the muscle to the bone. You guys can move your chest to the left. You can rotate your belly to the left. You can to the right, sorry. Look opposite of your left foot. And then bring your leg up. Switch the hand that holds the strap. Take your left leg across the body. Take it to the right. Now go very slowly so that you don't let anything other than your left leg go to the right, meaning don't let the left side, your left back rib cage come up. Try not to let the back of your left arm come up. Go into the right thigh bone and press the right thigh bone into the mat. Hug the muscle to the bone so that you can move the bone. Move your left thigh bone to the back of your left leg, and you'll feel that articulate in your hip. And then bring it back to the center. Hold it there for a moment, thigh bone towards the right foot, and then release. Good, 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 good. Or did we pull the leg in? If you pulled it in, pull it in. Y'all know more than I do about what we're doing, about what we did.
Because I like that.
Ah.
I didn't like that.
Ah, very good, guys. One more bending of your knees into your chest. One more spinal twist, knees to the left, look to the right. Lift the left shoulder blade up, take it to the left, twist, roll the outer hip down. Do anything you want with your right arm. You can stretch out to your right. You can even go up and over your head. And then release. Come to the opposite, knees to the right, twist to the left. Right shoulder blade up and out to the right. And use that inner left knee. See what happens if you try to draw that inner left knee down. Use a little resistance to the outer left knee into the hand. And then back to the center and Shavasana, guys. So any way you want to take Shavasana, if you just want to stretch the legs out, turn the palms up, arms out, you could do that. You can move into taking your legs up the wall, or you could bring your legs in the seat of a chair like this. You could also bring blankets under your knees, or you could bring a blanket at the back of your head. But here you don't want any space at your lower back. So in other words, you don't want to let your lower back lift off of your mat. One good way to do this is bring your abdominal wall down and stretch your outer hips away from you. If your legs and your knees are straight, you can use a strap to make sure to your feet to give you the that added kind of relaxation of not having to subconsciously try to keep your feet lined up. So come in or come down for your best Shavasana, where you feel the most comfortable, where you get the most rest. And one way that I think I can let myself rest in Shavasana is to know that it's a very temporary thing. You're not going to be here forever. You see, you're not going to be asked to let go of everything, including your thoughts, other than this few moments. Of true relaxation, which is really hard to get. It's not easy to relax. Check that the muscles in your face are relaxed. Check that the upper and the lower jawbone is relaxed, and that the teeth at the back of your mouth are not clenching or pressing into one another. Check that the lips are soft and that the throat is also very soft. The larynx in Iyengar yoga is considered also an organ of action. It's a Karmandreas. See if you can relax here. Upper arm bones relax. Let your internal organs move towards your mat, including the brain and the heart. You may be subconsciously holding the abdominal wall tight. As you exhale, simply let go. Allow the organs of this area to move into the mat. to deepen your breath. Move your awareness back into the room. Small movements in the fingers and in the toes when you're ready. And as you exhale your breath, bend your elbows, bring your hands to your belly or your heart. You can stretch your arms up and over your head. Gently draw your abdominal wall towards your mat as you reach out into your fingertips. And as you exhale the breath, release the arms to the side body. Just let your arms rest at your side body for a moment. Good. Bend the knees. They can bend in and feet come to the mat, floor, the wall. And then if your knees are not at your chest, draw them in, wrap the arms around. Any movements here, side to side or front to back. And then roll onto your right side, and you can hold there in a fetal position. And then bring yourselves up seated here. Any seated position that you would like. You can keep your eyes closed here a moment. And any movement side to side or front to back. Oh, not really. Never mind. Don't do that. Just keep your eyes closed for a moment. As with the other senses, our delight of doing asana increases with increasing discrimination and sophistication in the practice. Learning is important for all of us as it is the effort. It takes effort to learn. In learning, there is no fear. The practice of yoga also brings out the instinctive weakness of a man or a woman and offers us ways to overcome our intellectual, emotional, and instinctive defects. Thank you guys so very much. Namaste.